Eala gushes over training with Rafa Nadal in Standout Moment of 2025. Eala has had a year full of highlights, from her dream run to the semifinals at the Miami Open, to her first ever SEA Games gold medal. But among the biggest moments of her 2025 include something that's a little more toned down, yet still significant in her tennis career: being able to train firsthand with 22-time Grand Slam winner Rafael Nadal in his own academy in Mallorca, Spain. Despite graduating from Nadal's tennis academy a few years ago, the 20-year-old only really had a chance to hit balls with Rafa this year, even if he was able to watch Eala's training before. Being able to share the court with such an icon, even if it was in practice, was beyond what Eala could have imagined, especially at her young age in tennis. It was so special for me. Obviously, training with Rafa is something that people and young kids can only dream about, so it was such a pleasure to share the court with him, Eala said in a video posted by the Rafa Nadal Academy. Cues from Rafa. While Eala has had the pleasure to go up against top-level players in her career, even coming up with wins against the likes of Iga Swiatek and Madison Keys, while being doubles partners with Coco Gauff, there is still much to learn for the Filipina. For Eala, it was a great opportunity that she was able to get tips from Nadal himself, who was keen on sharing his wisdom to his academy's product. He gave me some tips on my forehand and a few other small advice, said Eala. With the rest of Eala's career still ahead of her, she knows that these little moments in between will help her push herself to continue to be better. This is the first time I've ever hit with him in my life, and it's just a memory that will last forever, she said. Eala will turn up the action immediately at the turn of the new year, as she and Indonesia's Janice Jen were named as entries in the WTA 250 in Auckland, New Zealand on January 5th to 11th. A court where dreams echo. Eala's standout moment of 2025. The sun rose gently over Manacor, painting the clay courts of the Rafa Nadal Academy in shades of amber and gold. For many, it was just another morning of drills, footwork, and forehands. For Eala, it became something far more profound, a moment etched into memory, a chapter she would one day look back on as a turning point. In 2025, amidst a calendar crowded with tournaments, travel, and expectations, one experience rose above the rest. Training with Rafael Nadal, her idol, mentor, and living legend, became the moment that defined her year. The weight of the moment. Alex had trained at the academy before. The routines were familiar. Early starts, demanding sessions, relentless emphasis on discipline. But this time felt different. Nadal wasn't just a name on the walls, or a presence felt through the academy's philosophy. He was there, on the court, racket in hand, watching every movement with an intensity that had terrified opponents for 2 decades. At first, Alex would later admit, I was trying not to overthink it. But how do you not overthink when Rafael Nadal is on the other side of the net? Every bounce of the ball seemed louder. Every footstep carried meaning. Nadal didn't offer grand speeches or dramatic gestures. Instead, he taught in fragments, short corrections, quiet nods, the occasional raised eyebrow that said more than words ever could. Lessons beyond technique. The drills were demanding. Long rallies, heavy topspin, balls that refused to slow down. Nadal pushed Alex not with words, but with example. When a rally extended beyond 20 shots, he didn't stop. When sweat soaked through his shirt, he didn't complain. When a ball clipped the line, he reset instantly. Alex noticed everything. She noticed how Nadal treated every point, practice or not, as if it mattered. She noticed how he never rushed between points, how he controlled his breathing, his posture, his focus. These were not just tennis habits. They were life lessons disguised as routine. It made me realize, Alex reflected, that greatness isn't about the big moments. It's about how seriously you take the small ones. A quiet conversation. One afternoon, after a grueling session, Alex sat courtside, towel around her shoulders, exhaustion settling into her bones. Nadal approached, not as a champion addressing a prodigy, but as someone who understood the weight of ambition. He asked her how she was feeling. Not about her forehand, not about rankings. How she was feeling. Alex spoke about pressure, the expectations of carrying a nation's hopes, the challenge of growing up in the spotlight, the fear of not improving fast enough. Nadal listened without interrupting. When she finished, he nodded slowly. He reminded her that pressure never disappears. You don't defeat it. You learn to walk with it. That stayed with me, Alex said later. It wasn't advice meant for headlines. It was advice meant for survival. The meaning of 2025. As the year unfolded, Alex carried those sessions with her, from practice courts to match points, from victories to difficult losses. Whenever nerves crept in, she remembered Nadal's calm between points. When frustration threatened to take over, she remembered his patience. When doubt whispered, she remembered that even legends once stood where she stood now, learning, struggling, growing. In interviews, when asked about her standout moment of 2025, Alex didn't mention a specific win or ranking jump. She talked about manicure, about clay under her shoes, about a champion who taught her without trying to impress.